Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. In this video I want to share with you a recipe that I'm going to try. I watched this series on Netflix called High on the Hog, and it's a young gentleman by the name of Steven traveling lands of the ancestors in the cuisine of the Africa. People are sharing these different ingredients and these different stories about how food was something that kept us interconnected. And my mouth was watering the whole time I was watching the whole series. I watched the whole thing, and one story came across where it was a guy speaking about a soup called okra soup, and it looked delicious. It was like, I gotta try this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try this okra soup traditional way. I feel like my ancestors have brought this into my life for me to give it a try, because it's West African, it's Orisha, and it felt like home when I was watching it. So I said, let me give it a try. I hope I don't mess it up. Ancestors guide me through this, so I won't misguide my people here while they're watching me put this together. I hope you guys enjoy this. Let's get in. So here I bought 3 packs of okra. I went to my local Asian market. They have some of the best fresh produce to use, so I took it upon the travel to go purchase some things earlier today. And here I'm just using 3 packs of okra. I want to say this is probably about 2 pounds. I want to say that I have. I want to make a very healthy pot of soup here, and I want it to stretch pretty long. I do plan on freezing some of this for later. One great thing about soup is that you can freeze some for later, so why not? What you would need: okra, fresh tomato, raw onion, cactus, jalapeno pepper, crab meat, bok choy, rice, chicken broth or vegetable broth, and seasons to taste. So after opening my packs of okra, you want to make sure to rinse them very well. Not too slimy, not too gritty. Normally they don't get slimy until they're cooked, but I don't like to have any grit on my green vegetables, so I want to make sure to rinse those well. And here I'm going to just cut them in bite-sized pieces, because remember, this is a soup, so I want to be able to enjoy the other ingredients on one spoonful. So I'm going to dice these up at a nice size. Here are my nice bite-sized pieces of okra ready for seasoning. So I have my sage. I always sage my food. It's blessing my food and cleansing my food. So I have my sage, my seasonings, my salt, onion, salt, whatever seasons you like and prefer, you may use. Add your water and make sure to cover your okra. You want to utilize the broth that the okra and water is going to make for basting your soup. So make sure you put enough water that you can actually use, because remember, we're adding more ingredients towards the end. Now make sure you cut up your tomatoes and put them aside, because we're going to be adding the tomatoes and some other ingredients to another pot. So make sure you cut them again bite size. You know, tomatoes get soft when they're steamed. Here I have my cactus. Cactus is this I've had in the refrigerator for a couple of days, so it has like a slimy consistency. It's still good, but right now I need to use this ASAP, or it might not be as great as it should be. So here I am going to rinse this and prepare it in pieces so I can actually add this to my soup. going to add 2 whole jalapenos. And that's what you see me doing here, cutting on this plate. Here is lobster, crab meat, and some more lobster. This is imitation. Here is a can of Pacific Cove, which is claw meat, which is actual claw meat. Nice price tag on it, but it was worth it. And here is my cactus that we're going to be adding to the soup. My jalapeno pepper. And I had bought some pre-cut onions from the grocery. Here's my tomatoes. And here is some crab legs that I actually cracked and shredded there. Here is some better than bouillon. This is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm going to add that to my broth. And let's see. Here's the okra. It's nice and slowly cooking. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to underdo it. Here's another better than bouillon. This is a mushroom base, basically vegetable base. So I'm going to put the roasted chicken, I believe. That was, yeah, roasted chicken. And this one is a vegetable base. If you never used this before, you need to go to the grocery store and buy it. I use it in everything. I cook it with my chicken, my soups. If I'm baking something, it just has a really good flavor throughout. So I'm just wanting to make sure that the okra and the slime that the okra does create, which is a thick, slight thick consistency, which is good for soup. I want to make sure that it has a really nice taste to the broth because, like I said, I am making a nice batch of soup here because my soul tells me this is going to be good. Although this is my first time trying it, I just got a good feeling about it. So fingers crossed, positive vibes only. Get that broth tasting really well. Yeah. And we're going to have us a good batch of soup here. I allowed my okra to cook about 15 minutes. And now I'm adding the chopped jalapeno so that can simmer on and give some spice to the okra as it finishes cooking. Now, when it comes to bok choy, it's a green leaf, just like spinach or cabbage or your greens. This was not actually in the recipe, but I wanted to tap into my Afro-Asiatic descents cookbook, and I wanted to add some more green to it because I wanted the pot to be very, very healthy and full. The bok choy, you want to break apart. It's very gritty. So if you ever used it before or haven't used it before, I would compare it to how greens feel when you're cooking greens. You just want to make sure you break them apart to get down to the grit. Rinse them very well. I want to add my bok choy towards the end of the pot because the leaves are like spinach, and I want to say they don't take. This is actually my first time using bok choy. I've never used it in my recipes before, but like I said, I'm tapping in to my ancestry and Stressy's cookbook, and I believe this is just going to be great. So yeah, follow me. Make sure that you like and comment, guys. If you use bok choy before, tell me your ways of cooking it, and give me some advice on bok choy because depending on how this turns out, I'll probably use it again. In this pot here, I'm going to add some water and some broth. This is the main pot that I'm going to actually develop my soup. Here's my onions. I'm going to add those, and I'm putting this on medium heat. adding some herbs and some flavor, some season, some garlic, onion powder, all that good stuff, and give that a stir. Okay, so it's been about a good hour and everything. Here I'm going to go ahead and add my tomatoes to the pot with the onions and broth. I'm going to go ahead also and add my cactus. Now the cactus wasn't in the original recipe. It's just something I wanted to try. It'll be really good. So back to the pots. So here's the okra and jalapeno after 30 minutes. You don't want to overcook it because you're going to put it in the bigger pot with all the other ingredients. So go ahead and turn that off about 30 minutes after it's been boiling, so it won't be overdone. Steamy and yummy, and the jalapeno tastes so perfect. So here's a little mini fashion show for y'all. So my white beads represent Albatala, my blue and white Moya, and of course the sunflower Oshun. And I got this little gray top with this little blue belt and these cute little blue wavy looking design pants from Shein. And yeah, this how she cooking, this how she doing it. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and chop up a few cloves of fresh garlic. Garlic can have a nice little kick to it, especially when it is fresh and raw. So you want to make sure to balance things out. Start small. So here I'm just using 3 cloves, and I'm going to chop them up as tiny as I can because it's all about the flavor, baby. Once that garlic is chopped all up, go ahead and throw that in the pot with your cactus and tomatoes and onions and let that simmer. Here's the broth that I use. This is the best. So go ahead and elevate your recipes by adding some chicken broth. It just makes the soup a soup. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my crab meat that I had cracked from the crab legs early on. Now I'm adding the crab claws that you've seen from the Cove can, the blue can. I'm going to add that meat in here as well. Stir that up. Give it a good stir. Now I'm adding the imitation crab meat and lobster meat. This will stretch this pot as long as mouths could go. Cover that up and let that simmer and get some of that flavor going in there. Let it sit for a good minute, or a good 5 or 10 minutes. Mind you, the crab meat is already cooked. That's why you want to add the crab meat at the end when everything is already, tender. You don't want to add the crab meat at the beginning because it'll be overcooked. So add your crab meat towards the end. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my okra. That was previously boiling with the jalapeno. As you can see, that soup, that pot right there is thickening up. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my bok choy. Get that on in there. Give it a good stir. And let that sit. You want to let the bok choy cook for a good 10 minutes or so. Here I boiled some rice. The rice is also a star of the pot. It goes along with the okra, and it actually fattens up the pot as well. My rice was already boiled, and again, you want to add the rice last because you do not want it to get mushy, and you don't have to cook it all the way, being that you're going to have it simmering with the ingredients of your soup. And here it is, y'all. Oh my God, look at it. It looks so good. Oh, it looks so good. This is my okra soup. It is done. It looks so delicious. It had the whole house smelling like life, okay? I kid you not. It just smells so good. You just had to be here to try it. It's just great. So my soup is complete. This is the okra soup. Thank you. And shouts out to High on the Hog for the recipe. Here I added some garnish, some cilantro on the top, and some raw onions on the top, which made the bowl spectacular. If you guys tried this, please comment below and tell me how yours turned out. If you added any extra ingredients, if you took out any ingredients, let me know. Let's inspire each other. I am about to enjoy this. I just made some biscuits to go along with it and drizzled some honey over the top. And you guys, I devoured this bowl and then some. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. As always, thank you for watching. And remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button below.